Education and Sports announced a plan to distribute teaching guides and equipment to enhance the teaching and learning of science in primary schools across the country. About 334 science kits will be distributed in 17 districts across the country. According to the officials, the initiative is part of government's efforts to provide students with hands-on experience in science, technology, engineering, as well as mathematics. Today, the ministry, through Riverflow International, is handing over 20 kits to 20 selected schools in Koboko district. And our reporter, Adid Rashul, is speaking to Margaret Olore, the communications officer. Rashul Adidi, take it away.
A very good afternoon to you, Romeo Busiku, and our audience who are watching us this afternoon. When you look at Uganda, it seems we're taking different policy directions and also system directions, looking at the education sector. Now, in 2021, we saw government officially rolling out the CBC program, what we now call the competence-based curriculum. And when you look at the focus of this particular curriculum, it is focusing more on issues of ensuring that the learners are equipped with the practical skills. However, the focus has been more in secondary schools, that is to say O-level, and this year we also saw the system being integrated into the A-level system. And of course, the questions now remains that what happens to those who are in lower classes? And early last week, we did see government officially announcing to the country that they have procured science kits that will help the learners at lower primary schools to be equipped with the practical knowledge. And when you look at the beneficiary schools out of these kits, they're majorly looking at the best performing primary rural schools and also the worst performing primary rural schools. So Koboko district, as I speak today, happens to be among the 20 schools that have been selected across the country to benefit out of these kits. And these kits contain a number of science equipments, that is to say, the reproductive systems, you talk about the skeleton, among others. And this afternoon, I'm delighted to be joined by the communications officer for, that is Riverflow International, one of the organizations that is in charge of manufacturing these items in the country, and we're seeing them distributing these items across the 20 schools. Madam, you're most welcome to Lunchtime Bulletin. Tell us, what do we want to know about these equipments that you're giving to the primary schools in Koboko district?
Thank you so much. My name is Margaret Olore, Communications, Riverflow International. Today, Koboko district has given over 20 science kits to the government-aided primary schools. And these kits are meant to promote practical learning of science, to help in the theoretical teaching of science. We are not phasing out theoretical teaching of science. However, we are promoting practical teaching of science beside the theory aspect of teaching science. Yes, so far we have seen schools receive it and schools are taking them to their schools, yeah.
Maybe Koboko district has in total around 59 government-aided primary schools, and we're seeing only 20 being the pilots who are receiving these kits. What happens to the remaining balance?
The government ministry, I think that question is big for me, but the government is still going to distribute more kits, and Koboko is among the 20 districts that have been selected to do piloting in the West Nile region. However, the distribution of this science kit started way back in 2021, and Koboko is in phase 4. So far, we have distributed over 1,336 science kits, and we pray that the government keeps on supporting this initiative. We thank the Ministry of Education and Sports, Mama, for always ensuring that we promote practical learning of science. We pray that she continues supporting this initiative so that all the schools, now Koboko has 59 schools, only 20 have received. That means 39 have not received. If the government gives more fund for supporting this initiative, we ensure that all the 59 schools in Koboko receive. However, for the meantime, we encourage that schools that have received the science kits have like a proper way or a proper space for storing, and other schools that have not received it come to benchmark from them. They be like trainers of trainers, so that they train other teachers and other schools that don't have the science kits to be able to incorporate in their schools. They can come and benchmark from them. Let them have open room for them to come and learn. Has government still? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Margaret happens to be the communications officer of Riverflow International, the organization that is in charge of manufacturing and also supplying some of these kits. Now, while receiving these items, there were a number of issues which were raised here. The stakeholders raised the concerns about the teacher-pupil ratio and also the issues of facilities that can be used to accommodate some of these items which have been procured by government. Of course, this is a pilot project. We hope to see what will be the outcome, since the government is taking a new direction to ensure that the country meets the current international demand of ensuring that young people embrace more of sciences and technology. For the interest of time, allow me to let the room back to my colleague Romeo Bosiku to continue with some of the stories making headline this afternoon. Back to in the studio, my comrade.
Now, in our business news, businesses have indicated a further improvement in business conditions during the month of June as output and new orders continue to expand, supporting growth in employment, purchasing as well as stocks. A report by Stanbic Bank indicates that companies benefited from quicker delivery times for inputs and were able to reduce their backlogs again, while at the same time they increased staff hires. The Purchasing Managers Index, which measures the overall business environment, however, slightly declined to 55.6 in June from 50.